Jade Gargill called Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss Rhea Ripley's backup dancers and then destroyed them after they actually won their match. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss won the match. Let that land completely before anything else is said. They walked into that SmackDown ring in Columbia, South Carolina on May 15 and defeated Micken and B-Fab in tag team action cleanly, legitimately, with the kind of focused, motivated performance that two women looking for revenge after a week of public humiliation are capable of producing. They won. The referee's hand came down 3 times. Their music hit. And for approximately 4 seconds, 4 beautiful, fleeting, completely illusory seconds, it looked like Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss were going to get the moment of satisfaction that the entire SmackDown women's division has been denied since Jade Gargill came back and detonated a bomb in the middle of it all. And then Jade Gargill's music hit, and she walked out. With Micken, with B-Fab, and all 3 of them descended on Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and destroyed them in the ring. They had just won a match inside. After Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defeated Micken and B-Fab, Jade Gargill, B-Fab and Micken beat down Flair and Bliss in the post-match. ITR Wrestling, https://itrwrestling.com/bio/Jacob-Fatu, let the cruelty of that timing sink in. Not during the match. Not interfering to cost them the victory. After they had already won. After they had proven they could compete and overcome and earn a result on SmackDown. Jade Gargill waited for the win and then made it meaningless anyway. Because that bitch does not just want to beat Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. She wants them to know that winning means nothing when she decides it is time to remind everyone who the most dangerous woman on SmackDown actually is. And then she called her shot for Clash in Italy. And Charlotte Flair called her a bitch right back. Multiple times. This is the most explosive women's division SmackDown has seen in years, and every single detail of what happened needs to be heard right now. Jade Gargill was scheduled to address her actions on the May 15 SmackDown and really did not have much to say in her return promo other than she plans to win back the WWE Women's Championship at Clash in Italy on May 31. Yardbarker, https://www.yardbarker.com/wrestling/article/WWE_Raw_Seth_Rollins_Feemy_Star_Targets_Scoreboba_Scorefimi_Scoreboba_Scorefimi_Score_Brakeher/S1_Score17396_4378175. Simple. Direct. No elaborate justification for the assault on Rhea Ripley 2 weeks running. No explanation for targeting Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss as collateral damage. Just a declaration: I am coming for my title in Turin, Italy on May 31, delivered with the absolute certainty of a woman who beat Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 42 and has never fully accepted the rematch result that put the championship back on the nightmare. And then Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss interrupted. Because of course they did. Because Charlotte Flair has never in her entire career backed down from a confrontation with anyone, champion, challenger, returning superstar, or force of nature, and Jade Gargill standing in that ring declaring a championship match at Clash in Italy while Charlotte and Alexa have been used as stepping stones in her 2-week destruction tour of SmackDown was not something the Queen was going to allow to go unchallenged. Jade referred to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss as Rhea's backup dancers during the confrontation, and the babyfaces returned the insult right back at Jade's baddies, Micken and B-Fab. Yardbarker, https://www.yardbarker.com/wrestling/article/wwe_Raw_Scoreboba_Scorefimi_Score_Brakeher/S1_Score17396_4378175. Backup dancers. Charlotte Flair, 13-time champion, the most decorated woman in WWE history, called a backup dancer by a returning challenger who has been destroying people for 2 consecutive weeks. And Charlotte's response was not measured or diplomatic or politically calculated. Charlotte referred to Jade as a bitch multiple times during the confrontation. Yardbarker, https://www.yardbarker.com/wrestling/article/WWE_Raw_Seth_Rollins_Feemy_Score_Brakeher/S1_Score17396_4378175. Multiple times. On network television. The Queen looked that bitch in the eye and said it right back to her face. And the building in Columbia lost its mind. Charlotte and Alexa went into that match against Micken and B-Fab with the momentum of the verbal exchange still fresh and delivered exactly the kind of performance that 2 motivated, championship-caliber performers produce when their pride has been publicly challenged. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss sought retribution on SmackDown May 15, confronting Jade Gargill's allies after last week's shocking return and facing off in a heated tag team showdown that marked the escalation of tensions in the women's division. Global Wrestling Network, https://globalwrestlingNetwork.com/wrestling/WWE-2025/Jacob-Fatu, they had the match in hand. They executed. They won. And then the post-match happened. After Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defeated Mickin and B-Fab, Jade Gargill, B-Fab and Mickin beat them down in the ring. ITR Wrestling, https://itrwrestling.com/bio/Jacob-Fatu. The deliberateness of that timing cannot be overstated. Jade waited. She let them win. She let them have the celebration. And then she took it away, not because she needed to, not because the result needed to be reversed, but because making Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss feel the full psychological impact of victory turned to rubble in the span of 30 seconds is more devastating than simply costing them the match would have been. Jade took out Ripley on SmackDown May 8, yanking Rhea off the apron and sending her face into the ring steps, while her baddest took out Flair, before Gargill and her henchwomen stood tall over Ripley, Flair and Bliss when all was said and done. Ringside News, https://www.ringsidenews.com/Jacob-Fatu. 2 consecutive SmackDown appearances. 2 consecutive post-match beatdowns. The WWE Women's Champion and her 2 most trusted allies humiliated in the same building, on the same show, by the same woman and the same faction both times. And Rhea Ripley was nowhere to be found during the May 15th destruction. WWE confirmed that Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley will face Jade Gargill, B-Fab and Mickin in a 6-woman tag match at Saturday night's main event on May 23 in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Sportster, https://www.thesportster.com/wwe-breakout-star-2024-bloodline-solo-Sikoa. The match is made. The Women's Champion, the Queen, 5 Feet of Fury, against that bitch and the baddies. In a 6-woman tag that represents the most star-studded women's match WWE SmackDown has produced since Jade Gargill first arrived on the main roster. And the stakes could not be higher because Jade Gargill has already declared she plans to win back the WWE Women's Championship at Clash in Italy on May 31, which means Saturday night's main event is not just a 6-woman tag. It is a statement of intent, a momentum builder, and a physical preview of what happens when Rhea Ripley and Jade Gargill occupy the same ring 8 days before their championship collision in Turin. Yardbarker, https://www.yardbarker.com/wrestling/article/wwe_raw_scoreboba_semi_score_Raw_score_Seth_Rollins_Score_Swan_37817_4378175. Charlotte Flair was called a backup dancer. She called Jade a bitch to her face. Alexa Bliss won a match and got destroyed afterward. And Rhea Ripley, the women's champion who has been the primary target of Jade's return aggression from the very first moment, is going to walk into Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne on May 23 with the full force of her championship and her alliance and the accumulated fury of 2 consecutive SmackDown humiliations behind her. The question that SmackDown GM Nick Aldis needs to quickly sort out is where Charlotte Flair and Fatal Influence fit into the championship picture, and whether Jade Gargill automatically cuts in line in front of JC Jane now that she is back. Ringside News, https://www.ringsidenews.com/Jacob-Fatu. Multiple challengers, 1 championship, and Jade Gargill declaring Turin as her destination while Charlotte Flair is ready to declare war on everything she represents. Jade Gargill called Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss Rhea Ripley's backup dancers. Charlotte called her a bitch to her face. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte won their tag match against Mickin and B-Fab, and Jade Gargill waited until after the victory to walk out and destroy them in the ring they had just won inside, because making the win mean nothing is more devastating than preventing it. Jade Gargill's return has fundamentally altered the landscape of WWE's women's division, with her association with Mickin and B-Fab creating a powerful faction capable of disrupting established hierarchies, while Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley now face pressure from multiple directions simultaneously. Wikipedia, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Jacob_Fatu. Saturday night's main event is May 23, Clash in Italy is May 31. And the most explosive women's championship collision course in SmackDown 2026 is building at a pace that nobody anticipated when Jade Gargill appeared from nowhere on May 8 and yanked Rhea Ripley off the ring apron. Drop your prediction in the comments right now. Does Jade Gargill win the 6-woman tag at Saturday night's main event and take the momentum into Clash in Italy? Does she win back the WWE Women's Championship in Turin? And is the Charlotte Flair vs. Jade Gargill confrontation the most compelling women's rivalry of 2026? Share this video with every wrestling fan you know. We Are Wrestling News. CC Jade Gargill came back and called Charlotte Flair a backup dancer. Charlotte called her a bitch right back. And SmackDown's women's division has never been more on fire.